Hey everybody, welcome back to Game Does Play Games, where we continue to play Cuphead, and you can watch that and practice game design. Just like that. I don't remember this boss. What was... Oh, I remember this boss. Nothing I quit matters.
That's a good sign. I sees hard drinks.
Cali Maria.
I like this game.
Or I guess it would be Cali Maria.
I mean, calamari.
Yeah, Cali Maria.
Yeah.
Cali Maria.
I like it.
Cali Maria.
Dude, calamari is the best.
Calamari is the best.
You know where all the best
you
food
know what?
comes from is, oh shit, this is the one that people post about all the time.
It's a really awesome boss. It's a pain in the ass, but you know what? It's a pretty cool boss.
Yeah.
That being said, I really do hate the randomization of the boss. God damn it.
Wow, I actually didn't expect there to be another plane level.
Alright.
Kinda figured
Horse, what do you
three-
do? Okay.
Oh, there's...
Ooh. So this is one of the few, like, bosses that actually, or, few things that actually has an environmental effect. It's constantly pushing you upward.
Oh, really?
Shit.
Oh, you
This
mean
is
with
why.
that water stream?
Yeah. That's why this is, I think, the part I hate most about that boss. The first form, the weird thing is that the first form takes the longest.
Not sure if I should catch and release. Fishing jokes. Do you think that a lot of people dressed up as Cuphead bosses for Halloween?
Oh, I don't know, but I hope.
I feel like it would be pretty good. I mean, we're well past Halloween at this point.
I love him. Look at his little fisticuffs. Yeah, I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get you. Oh, I got my little bowler hat. Whoa.
Shit.
That is an electrified dolphin?
I don't. Is it a dolphin? I don't know.
Kind of look dolphin-y. Maybe a shark. Definitely not a normal electrified fish, but yeah, that's okay.
Oh, I don't want them.
Yeah, that water stream is an interesting mechanic.
Oh, okay. She actually went away. Oh no! No!
No.
So this is one of those bosses. She has multiple different forms, right?
Mhm.
And different
You have
other
5, by the way.
environmental effects on top of that. I don't think I got her.
Womp womp. Hey, but it was a good attempt.
It was a good time to die.
Dead.
Today was a good day to die. So yeah, she has multiple forms, and the basically the ground, like the ocean itself, has multiple forms, right?
Mhm.
So she can. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, I still retain my axe.
What?
I still retain my axe even in ship form.
Oh.
This is the only fucking upgrade that I've actually seen that is. Oh, man.
That carries over?
That carries over between regular.
Huh. That's interesting, actually, because since you never hit the ground in plane mode, that just means that you always have the axe. Do you think that's a bug? I feel like that could be a little broken.
No, the animation is very clearly there.
Oh yeah, because you're still in plane mode. Huh.
Damn it. Damn it.
Now
she
you
was
gays,
just hit
how
her
about some
second-
boots so you can swim with the fishes?
Yeah, she was literally just about to hit her next form when I died.
Womp womp.
So yeah, she has multiple forms, the ocean has multiple forms, and it will do a different series of combinations of attacks. And so basically, if you get the wrong set of combinations, it's unlucky for you. Like that one right there is by far probably the most dangerous one she does. And if that's combined with, you know, the water jet guy there, that's probably like one of the worst combinations. This guy's also a pain in the ass because when you combine it with those guys, it becomes a bullet hell.
All right. Favorite frame of the animation is her spitting the things out of her mouth. And she's got the, like, necklines where it's just like, whoa!
Beautiful. Ah!
It's good.
Okay.
She reminds me of something. I feel like her inspiration is something specific, too. I mean, I'm sure a lot
Ariel?
of the enemies... Nah. I mean...
I think there's
don't know.
actually an old cartoon specifically that had her on it,
Oh,
or
really?
had something like her. And that was, you know, that's one of those things that they said was their main inspiration, and they like very closely designed her very similar to them.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, I wonder how much time they spent going and watching like super old school animations, because I can't imagine those are super easy to find nowadays. I'm sure
Maybe,
there's some
probably,
archives somewhere.
Yeah.
I'd kind of like to go back and watch a bunch of those. I kind of said that already, but...
Here we go.
Oh,
Told you, eels are terrible.
Amazing. Whoa, okay, she's got Medusa stuff.
Yep.
Or Gorgon stuff, I guess.
Probably should have done this a long time ago.
Probably should have done that sooner, closer to her too. Whoa.
Get out. Okay.
Interesting.
So you can actually avoid that.
Really?
Yes.
Is it about like...
About being right here.
Oh, that's smart.
I mean, it doesn't deal... Usually when she actually does get kept...
I was gonna say,
this is one of the things that people have like a lot of problem with, because this feels like the most random. That part right there.
Ooh,
that's as far
harsh.
as I know, an unavoidable attack. Now I have a theory that we're gonna try. I think you can go through the center of it if you're in small form.
I can see, because it did have a mouth.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that.
So we're gonna give it a go.
Yeah, I wonder what happens if you're in small form when she does the general area blast. Do you just freeze as the little plane?
I don't know.
I mean, that's QA Chris talking, but I fully expect it to freeze you. But you never know, man.
I mean, yeah, it's...
I mean,
the fact that people aren't listen, like if you're gonna if each match only lasts 2 minutes and you're dying all the time, then maybe you might as well try new things, right?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, and you know, there's nothing super wrong about it. I mean, nothing wrong about it in general. I don't want to be a jerk, but so a lot of players get it in their head that they have, you know, one way of doing it, or they kind of forget about some of the other mechanics because they're so focused on the match at hand. And this isn't specific to Cuphead, I'm just kind of speaking in general terms. But a lot of players, as a game developer, and especially as a QA too, where I have to play multiple play styles in order to properly test a game, there's a lot of people that just kind of get one thing down in a game and they don't try anything else ever again after that point. And it kind of bewilders me, because I love poking and prodding every single component of a game as I can. And maybe that's like,
I wonder if that's
the
like
game
an
designer
old...
in me.
Axe you. Wow, I never actually thought about doing that before.
Yeah, I wonder if it does.
Well, then again, I didn't know you
good damage.
Damn. We're gonna try. I think maybe that's... I wonder if that's a difference in the time period at which you started playing games. Like when we started playing, you know, games a long time ago, we played Mario and things like that, and those games wanted you to explore and try out new things. Mario 3 and Super Mario World did so much for games that it's not even funny in terms of like what they expected out of you. They expected the player to want to explore and try new things, not to be comfortable and get in a specific mode on how you did things.
I mean, pair that with
I hate that attack. I hate it. That's the worst thing about her.
Yeah,
because it shoots out so fast.
I think what you need to do there is just go mini ship actually. I think there's a couple of points where you get really focused on combat, and I think you totally forget about the mini ship, which is, I understand. It's hard to keep that in mind, but I think that's where you tend to take damage the most. I mean, that one was just you being an asshole.
Yeah, well, I mean, how often do you get to do this?
I mean, that's fair. But I wonder if like it's that sense of like exploration and discovery in classic games paired with a lot of the other games from our generation were often obscenely difficult. I mean, if you look at some like Super Ghouls and Goblins, or some of the Castlevanias even, they were just ridiculously hard in some ways. Even Contra.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, especially because what they had to do is they would like spawn enemies.
Or Ninja Gaiden. Maybe that's what I meant instead of Castlevania. But regardless, like, because of the difficulty, those also encouraged players to kind of poke and prod the system to see if they could find a different way to solve a problem, because the straightforward way would always just be too difficult. But that in itself kind of makes me sad, if I'm going to be honest. It's like, does that mean that a lot of kids that grew up with games made in like the mid 2000s or like the early 2010s, are they going to have just like a really narrow scope of what games should be? I don't think that's a fair thing to assume, but from a general standpoint, I wonder if a lot of those players do kind of have a narrow perception of what games should offer.
I absolutely believe they do. I mean, people do now. They do in our generation. They will later.
Sure.
There's even think of it this way. There's a lot of the newest generation. They're used to things like Minecraft and stuff that's like open world and about choice and about like certain amounts of discovery, et cetera, et cetera. What happens when they start playing games that don't have that are linear?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, where's the choice? Where's the, where is
Yeah, like that generation of players, that's not going to be enough for them. Like they'll want something a little bit more engaging, or at least thoughtful, I guess is maybe a better way of putting it. And so I think when that generation becomes, the current dominating force in the game development scene, I think we're going to see a lot of fascinating games that's going to be really innovative in the game space.
Absolutely, and as we said before, there's going to be a lot of choice and open world play. But I did not press the button.
Oh.
I didn't press the button.
It is really hard to do it in time. Well, you're doing pretty all right, despite getting hit by...
here.
Oh, nope. Well, it was a good attempt. I think that was pretty clean, though.
I don't know if there's a way to avoid that, and right now...
It might kind of be going back to our conversation with the barrel and that laser beam with the ship. It might just be recognizing that it's going to happen and positioning yourself in a way that gives you enough time to avoid that obstacle.
Because that's also one of the few parts I'm pretty sure that the walls will hurt you too. And up until this point, at no point in the game would a wall hurt you. Man, second form.
Is that totally true? I guess we haven't really seen a floor or a ceiling with the planes.
X, by the way, the X does a fair amount of damage. That's why I'm actually like being greedy here. In case you're like, why is he being a fucking idiot?
That's a great segue to the conversation we brought up like 5 episodes ago. Should Cuphead have health bars?
Yeah. Wow, we did want to talk about that.
Yeah, we kind of forgot about it because we got engaged in anglerfish.
All right, so basically, some people think they should have health bars. Now, I come from a different perspective. One of those perspectives being, I never liked health bars. And part of the reason, damn you, part of the reason why is because, I hate that form. Part of the reason why is because I never pay attention to the health bars. I think that they're a distraction. I don't want to see that on the screen. I don't like it, especially when they start flashing and things like that. I don't want to pay attention to that. And every time I have to look down at the screen or up at the screen or somewhere else to see a health bar, like that increases the chances that I'm just going to take more damage.
I definitely agree with the reason why you don't like it. And I mean, I even get that with Cuphead. Anytime I want to know what my current health is, I'm just like, well, I've been sort of counting it in my head how many times I've been hit. So I'm assuming I have 1 health left.
Right.
Now, okay, so an important distinction then is, how do you feel about games like Call of Duty or, I'm sure there's a million others, where there's no health bar per se, but your status is reflected in the peripheral of the screen. Like, Call of Duty has the blood peripheral, and it gets, more saturated the closer you are to death.
Pick that up too.
Yeah, and that was sort of an effort to answer that exact problem of like players minimizing the UI and keeping the player focused on the action at hand so that they don't have to look at UI.
Well, that is pretty important, right? You want to know how close you are to death. Now, let me ask you this. Does Call of Duty tell you how much health your opponents have?
No, I don't think so.
No, it does not. Really, when you're playing any shooter, does it tell you how much? When you play Devil May Cry, do those games tell you how much health your opponents have?
Doesn't Devil May Cry do that?
No.
No, maybe they don't. So, like, with something like Call of Duty, I think the argument could be made that it doesn't matter what their health is, because no matter what, you put about, 10 bullets in someone, they're going to die. So lifespans...
But they're not, actually, especially when you get into higher levels. It takes a while to kill enemies. Same thing with God of War. Like, all those games, eventually it takes a while to...
That's true.
Really?
I mean, I think that you could make I think for Call of Duty specifically, I think it makes perfect sense that they wouldn't have health bars, because generally, if you're playing, PvP, they're going to die pretty quick. So the quick turnaround time for life and death is short enough to justify the lack of a need of a health bar.
Mm-hmm.
For something like Gears of War, though, I feel like you could actually make the argument that it could benefit from a health bar, even though it doesn't display one, and still works totally fine without one.
Wow, I killed that very quickly.
Yeah, damn.
Please, get out.
Please.
Ow,
yeah,
I didn't even
you.
hit the wall.
You hit the coral. Oh no. Nice. Good call. Ooh. Poor choices. You got close.
So
you're...
there's a lot of games that do not portray that information, and it's a lot of them. A lot of those times you are fighting an enemy with a lot of health.
I think that I'm on the boat of, I think Cuphead is better without health bars for one very specific reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be too easy to discern what the optimal strategy is.
Agreed. Which weapons, what sets to use, etc.
And I think that would take a lot of the creativity out of the game experience. You would be, if there's an obvious best choice, then players are never going to deviate from that.
They're going to pick the best. They're going to pick the optimal choice every time.
It sort of speaks to what I was saying earlier, where like players figure out one thing that works and then oftentimes refuse to try different things. If a player finds out the optimal loadout for certain equipment in a game that really encourages players to try different things and find what works for what bosses, I think that it would be a disservice to it. And obviously, you could look at a walkthrough and get someone's opinion on, like, oh, this boss is weak against this weapon, and I've spent many hours calculating how many exact bullets
I
it
was about
takes.
to say, I've used the exact same amount or exact same shots, and it takes exactly 72 bullets to do this, and blah blah blah.
But it takes so much more work to get to that point, and I think that
at that point too, at least it's the players are being rewarded for their own research, I suppose.
And I think that most people don't care. They're not going to look that up because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the experience of Cuphead to know or not know that information. And it just probably takes more work to look that up. And then you're like, oh yeah, I probably would have done that anyway. Well.
It did seem like the using bombs the entire time was the best method.
Right? Whereas, like, if the game itself naturally gave you that information, then all those players that may not have looked up that info, they're just going to kind of naturally see it, and they're going to make choices on that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So whereas it wouldn't have changed their experience before, now suddenly it is. Now, I do think it could be fun for them to represent an enemy's health based on, like, their art and show kind of like them getting damaged. But, that's a flair thing. That's a polish thing that I don't think that it really needs.
There's got to be some way to deal with that transformation thing. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on it. There's no way. They wouldn't allow that to happen, right? That wouldn't be a thing.
With the stone?
Yeah. Even like the stone, there's a way to avoid the stone in her first form. Or not her third form, technically.
I mean, it's green, so you can't parry it.
Nope.
Yeah, there's no way to dodge through it. I mean, I think maybe you could, if you shrink, you might be able to squeeze above or below it, depending. But that might be easier said than done, especially with the coral on the ceiling and the floor.
Yeah,
I guess to finish my thought on the health bar system, I don't think it would be hugely detrimental, though, to Cuphead.
It wouldn't ruin the experience, but I think that's one of those layers of polish that they heavily considered, and a lot of people complain about it, but think about it. There is a health bar. We just don't see it until you lose, which means they clearly have a health bar. They know what's going on damage-wise.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a very, very likely chance that it was in the game at one point.
You know, the other, I think, argument against health bars is, will the health bar really change the way that you're attacking that enemy? No.
Yeah, and that's
you're
the
still
thing
going
is,
to
I
be
think
shooting them just as much.
Some people think that it would. They're like, oh, I would have just gone for it if I didn't know that they were that close to death. I'm like, you're always going for it anyway.
Yeah, right. And I think that with that in mind, since it doesn't really benefit the player, not truly, is that worth the player staring at the health bar instead of at the enemy, observing the beautiful artwork that they put a hell of a lot of effort into? I feel like that's not a cost that's worth making.
Oh, I actually killed the horse. Oh, I guess you can hurt the seahorse.
That's so funny. I love that. I like that her octopus is like, it's also snakes, but it's also still an octopus. That was good. All right.
No, but I was moving up. And I'm nom-nomming her right now.
I think the trick is ultimately to stay high or low where those curves are. So when it curves up, you want to go as high up as you can.
What did I just get hit by?
I think you just kind of ran into her face.
Her hitbox expanded or something. I realize we are way over. Do you just want to skip to the end?
Yeah, let's fast forward. We had some good conversation though, so I didn't want to skip.
There is actually one. You know what? No, I got one more point to make, and I'll pause it just to make my point because I kept wanting to say it and kept getting distracted.
I mean, that's fair.
And we will go over this in our other channel. But the reason why I really like the lack of health bar is because what they're trying to say is that their boss battles are their levels. They're not saying that the boss battles are the capstone on a level, that they're not the, you go through a level and then you fight the boss. The boss itself is the level.
Yeah.
When you're going through a level, do you see a health bar?
Do you see a progress meter for that level?
Yeah, the only argument is Metroidvania.
We do get a progress meter for the, but it's sort of different.
Well, that progress meter is also the health bar. What they're saying is that and actually that only strengthens the case. The boss battles are levels.
Yeah,
it is about progressing through something. It is not about seeing how close you are to defeating something. It's about seeing how close you are, or how far you have endured something.
Yeah.
And that also goes to the mechanics of shooting at something infinitely without really having to think about what you're shooting at.
It's a shift of focus that makes a very intentional behavioral, or not behavioral, but like perceptual difference, I guess.
I'm glad you used the word shift of focus because so did I.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've talked about this. This video's got to go up. We keep talking about it.
Well, get it done.
I know.
GDG. Hey, if you haven't seen our other channel, check out Game Design Guide.
Yeah.
We got you.
All right.
We'll fast forward.
Yeah,
and just try to avoid the coral. Yeah, there you go.
The only problem is trying to seat those things right there.
Oh, yeah. Oof. Yeah, that's tough. Nice.
Okay, we are back.
And they're just playing a violin. The snake.
That's where somebody got that. Oh man, what a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, woof.
So
We were reading up in the forums, people definitely complain about this one feeling a lot more unfair. It turns out you can actually avoid... Wow, nice, you got an A-.
well, once you fucking try to beat something a million times, by the time you get it, you're gonna be decent at it.
Yeah. I will say the one thing that kind of tries to tell the player that you should be close to her face in order to avoid the
Petrification.
I made the same mistake on something else we recorded.
Got a gold rod for it,
and
which means I never have to come back to this fight ever again.
Nice. So the wave 2, they teach you that you should be close to her face in order to avoid the petrification. So that maybe is trying to be like, hey player, be close to her face in wave 3.
When she becomes the straight up Medusa face. The problem with that was that those spiked obstacles still show up, and if you are so close to her that you're avoiding the petrification, you can't see them coming.
Yep.
So you probably get hit. So the way to fix that, I think, would have been to put her face a little closer to the center of the screen, so you can at least see the obstacles coming in from behind her.
I agree. I think that would have been a safer balance because it would have been less punishing and actually made for a more interesting conflict.
Yes, absolutely. Also,
and it's a minor difference, but it makes it big.
Those they didn't make any sense thematically. Where do they belong? Everything
like
else
floating
was fish
pillars?
based, and all of a sudden those were like random spikes that just hurt you.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like the little green skulls made perfect sense because she spat them at you.
Yeah,
They
and
could have
she
just
was
done more of those, I guess.
Yeah, they could have done those. They could have done. I mean, we're in Coral. They could have done like evil clownfish or something. Ooh. Anyway, we are so fucking done with that. So the question of the day: do you think that the randomization and RNG of Cali Maria is fair, unfair, or what could they have done to just make it a little bit easier, or better, or more telegraphic?
Yeah. And we're not talking like design overhaul. We mean like, what would you tweak?
Yeah. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.